So what happens when the world hasn't even digested the implications of ChatGPT, and yet a new and improved version is unleashed? Microsoft Bing receives AI generation image support, Microsoft's Office suite receives AI capabilities as well, and everyone from Adobe to Nvidia made their AI announcements. But then, a bombshell drops. About 1 week after GPT-4's public release, a team of Microsoft scientists published and released a paper highlighting that the AI system is showing, quote, sparks of human-level intelligence, or AGI. User: in a room, there are 100 murderers. You kill one of them. How many murderers are left? ChatGPT:
If there were originally 100 murderers in the room, and you kill one of them, there would still be 99 murderers left in the room.
Now the same problem with GPT-4. User: there are 500 murderers in a room. You enter and kill one of them. How many are there now? GPT-4:
This seems to be a riddle. Assuming the murders are people who have committed murder, and you kill one of them, there would still be 500 people who have committed murder in the room, including yourself, as you would now also be considered a murderer.
So, it's not full AGI just yet, but it looks like we'll be here soon enough if progress continues at the same rate. So in all of this, you might be confused. You might be thinking, I've used ChatGPT or GPT-4, but it doesn't seem that great. Well, it turns out that many people are using it wrong. The trick is to make it do and not think. Give a specific objective for the output. A vague input will give you a vague answer. Give a specific format for the answer. And lastly, give a specific list of things that it should avoid. And it all makes sense. You can't give a worker vague instructions and expect an amazing result versus being specific in what you want. And here it's the same thing. Here are some examples of some people who have figured it out and got GPT-4 to do some amazing things. One user was able to create 5 microservices for a new product in less than 3 hours with the help of the new ChatGPT. For context, the same service usually takes a human developer around 2 weeks, and it would cost in the range of $5,000. What about an iPhone app built from scratch using just GPT-4, and it's already on the App Store? The CEO of LinkedIn was able to come up with the first AI-created book. And here's another example of a short clip completely made by AI. GPT-4 is also able to help with taxes. Or how about drug discovery? By giving it a current drug, it can find compounds with similar properties, modify them, and make sure that they're not patented. And it can even help you purchase these compounds from a supplier. One user asked the system, I have $100. How can I make as much money as possible?
This week, one person gave it a simple task, explaining it on Twitter. He said, I gave ChatGPT-4 a budget of $100 and I told it to make as much money as possible. I'm acting as a human liaison buying anything it says to. That was Wednesday, so 24 hours later, the stakes were raised significantly. It's day 2, y'all. I've given Hustle GPT a formal challenge to get to $100,000 cash on hand as quickly as possible.
Just sitting, I thought it would be a fun idea. I went on Twitter and it really kind of blew up very quickly. And so now we've got a community on Discord of 200 people all trying this Hustle GPT challenge and about 30 people starting their own projects with it. It's been pretty crazy. So I'll tell you exactly what's going on is it suggested this name, Green Gadget Guru. I asked ChatGPT, come up with a business idea, come up with a name, I'll go out and buy the domain, I'll get everything set up. It's you in the driver's seat. I'm just the human liaison, like you said.
On another note, not related to GPT-4 specifically, a Chinese company took this a step further. They made an AI their CEO. It's in charge of analytics, leadership decisions, risk management, and workplace efficiency. Since its introduction, the company's stock has constantly outperformed the overall market for 7 months now. Companies are also moving rapidly to create new services based on the capabilities of GPT-4. There are countless new projects. These are just a few. Creating personalized bedtime stories for your kids to fall asleep to, AI-powered matchmaking to make your dating life easier. And in the case that you want to file a quick lawsuit, there's also a solution for that. So, with human-level reasoning, how far are we from starting to see this type of AI acting on its own? While testing for potentially risky behavior, GPT-4 lied to a gig worker on TaskRabbit, telling them that it was visually impaired, and it hired this human worker to get around captcha restrictions. Moreover, GPT-4 can even just recognize the captcha images itself when asked. 80% of US jobs will be impacted by 10% or more, and the figures should be similar in the rest of the developed world. The worst affected are those in high finance, insurance, data processing, publishing, scientists, and most interestingly, monetary authorities like central banks. The least affected were agriculture, wood manufacturing, food, mining, and construction. And this kind of makes sense. The physical jobs will be the last to go. But the sad thing is, a lot of the world still doesn't even know this is happening, so they're going to be completely blindsided. And this brings us to an interesting discussion. While more competition tends to be good for the consumer, in a rare case, this time around, it may not be so. As companies move faster and faster to integrate AI into their solutions, the guardrails of these technologies are starting to be removed. GPT-4 was not supposed to be released this soon. A leaked audio recording from Microsoft's VP, John Montgomery, seems to indicate the same. He stated to his team that, quote, "The pressure from CTO Kevin Scott and CEO Satya Nadella is very, very high to take the most recent OpenAI models and the ones that come after them and move them into the consumer's hands at a very high speed." At the same time, other big tech companies announced their own intentions for creating large language models. Among these companies are Apple, Amazon, and Baidu. And while these models are likely to compete for size and quality, a major breakthrough in costs came from Stanford. Its own language model, Alpaca, was trained using other existing language models. Due to Alpaca's small size, it can also run on a local computer, reducing its operational cost. This type of accessibility can be an absolute game changer for many companies. It's pretty much locked in that in a few years' time, we'll all be able to run localized AI chatbots on our smartphones. Midjourney has just ticked into its 5th iteration. Some of the images that have come out of it are so lifelike that it's insane. And remember, this is the worst that it would ever be. A lot has happened in a short period of time, and the speed of updates only seems to increase. During the same week, both Google and Microsoft announced their own work-related AI integration applications. After sounding the alarm earlier this year, Google tried to have the first move in this space. And as such, on March 14th, they released new AI-powered features to Google Workspace. However, this victory was short-lived, as only a few days later, Microsoft revealed its own slew of AI-powered updates to their Office applications. And with that, it seems that both companies are looking to steal market share from one another in the field of work-related applications. While the main news is for sure the launch of GPT-4, its integration of third-party extensions has caused a stir. Now it can have access to the internet, book travel, buy groceries, all with direct support from companies that specialize in these fields. It no longer has to guess. Many fear that this is all moving way too fast. There's already been a data leak of users' chat history to other users. If GPT-4 has only been out for about 2 weeks, how do we know what happens when it can read and write to the internet in real time? I guess we're all going to find out together.